Hi guys, it's Cal from Nerdy Weasel. After a short hiatus from the Skyrim Nexus, Bijin Warmaidens, Bijin Wives, and Bijin NPCs are back available for download. Bijin Warmaidens has been updated to version 3.1, complete with fomod installer for ease of use. Also available is a new Bijin All-in-One that combines all three into one ESP. All the footage and screenshots in this video are done without any ENB enhancement of any kind for true clarity of images. Even without the aid of an ENB, these are some of the best NPC overhauls available, and I highly recommend them. When I did the episodes on beauty mods for the 2016 Skyrim modding guide, these were not available, or I would have included them. We'll cover installation options for all three, and include use of the all-in-one ESP utilizing Mod Organizer. Alright guys, so let's get started. We'll open up Mod Organizer and take a look at what we got going on. As you can see, I do not have any lighting mods, I do not have any other enhancements going on, and you'll just have to trust me if you look, I do not run an ENB at this time. So we will go look at the three mods in question, actually four, if you count the all-in-one ESP. And the first one we have is Bijin Warmaidens by RXKX, number 40038. And it is back on the Nexus. Hooray! I'm sure a lot of you guys are really excited. These are really, really good images. And all the ones you saw in the opening footage were based off of the Bijin Warmaidens. But you notice the difference between the pictures and the videos? I don't have any enhancements, so that they don't look quite as nice as these, but you know, I play for performance, not for appearance. Everything will look better, but I don't play for appearance. If you want to go down and take a look at it, it discusses the new things that are fixed in 3.1. You can see the bug fixes there. Installation is majorly changed. In 3.1, you only need the main file. For 3.0 users, if you have in the past, make sure you make these changes. But basically all you need is version 3.1. In summary, you can see all the ones that they cover, all the female followers, and there you can, read that stuff. It'll give you options on what you need to know about the different versions, but I would go ahead and get the legendary if you're not using that I don't see any point in using anything else, quite frankly, at this time. Files on this. You can see Bijin Warmaidens version 3.1, and it is download with manager. And I would just ignore these. If you use CBE or UNP, it is included in the fomod that's included in version 3.1. If you are transferring from another version, read the instructions and know what you're getting. I would say don't worry about it, just download that to Mod Organizer. We will move on to Bijin Wives, and it is also by RXKX. It is mod number 63473. When looking over these, Bijin Wives look very, very nice. Isolde looks very nice. I'll include a picture of that so you can see her. And Carla Valenti is right there, but here's a picture of her as well so you can compare the two. Obviously, those are done without any other further enhancements. Very nice mods, and pictures, you can see those. There are two options on this. There is not an all-in-one installer. You have to pick the correct body style that you want, CBBE or UNP. I use UNP because I got that from WSCO. Download that with Manager. We will now move on to Bijin NPCs, and it is mod number 71054. And you come down and take a look. All the models are very nice. I went ahead and I default on the 2016 Skyrim modding guide for Irileth. And here's a picture of her, so you can take a look at her. And I also went and got a picture of Delphine. Now, why did I choose a picture of Delphine? Is because you can definitely see the wrinkles that were done by Faded Signal for this mod, and I would highly recommend them. When you do the fomod, you will see those options. We'll go over that in a second. Files on this. Bijin NPCs, version 1.1. Download this with Manager. Optional files, Sapphire follower. Older versions, you don't need to worry about that. So if you use Sapphire, there you go. That's the only one you want with Download with Manager. We'll move on. This is the Bijin All-in-One 2016 by Maidens. It is mod number 72626. What this does is it combines all three ESPs into one. There are instructions. They are incorrect. It says to rename Bijin Warmaidens BSA to Bijin AIO.BSA. If you're using version 3.1, there is no BSA. So you can go through and look at it. You'll see I'm correct. But that's all you need to do about it. Requirements is Bijin Warmaidens, Bijin NPCs, Bijin Wives, You Sleep. That is the unofficial Skyrim Legendary Edition patches. So you need that. It is not optional, and you need all the DLC. Compatibility, you can read about those. I don't think there's going to be any problem using Mod Organizer to fix it. Files on this, I would go ahead and get the Legendary Edition. If you have Improved Bards by Cleverbee, you'll need this version. And then you have the No Scripts version, Werewolf No Fixes for version 3.1. We want the Legendary. Download that with Manager. The Delphine hair fix, I actually like Delphine's hair. It appears is no longer needed in version 3.1. Once again, another fix. So, like I said, Legendary Edition, download that with Manager. We will now move on to Mod Organizer and install them. If you come over to your downloads, you can see I've got all three ready to go. There are basically two ways to do this. I'm going to show you the simplest way and then go through all the steps to make it work with the all-in-one, and then I'll come back a second time and do it the way I'm going to do it. The first one we're going to do is Bijin Warmaidens version 3.1. Double click to install, and it'll take a second to open up because it is a large file, and these are large textures, and just be aware it's making vast changes, as you can see from all those pictures I have. So it opens up the fomod, and we're going to go ahead and leave the name as it is for now. This is the easy way of doing it. So options, Legendary, no DLC, separate installation. Do not do separate installation. Either pick the no DLC if you don't have the DLC, but this would be the only mod you can install this way and still get the Legendary patch all in one. Okay, just keep that in mind. You do no DLCs, you can't use the all-in-one patch. You have to have separate ESPs. If you do Legendary, you're good to go. Go ahead and click Next. And you have Delphine Face Wrinkles option. You have no wrinkles, and you have the wrinkles version done by Fading Signal. Do it. Fading Signal is very good modder, and they look very nice. Click Next. Body type, you have UNP or CBBE. It's your choice. If you're following along with my guide, we're using UNP provided by WSCO. And click Install. Okay, there it is at the bottom. Go ahead and activate that. Give it a second, and you can see it's going to be overwriting Windsong and Inhabitants of Skyrim if you have a similar mod setup. It will overwrite anything that changes the character maps for the NPCs and the face gen. For this, I went through and looked at it, and that's all it's doing, is changing the face generation for the NPCs covered by WSCO and Inhabitants of Skyrim. And you can see from the pictures, didn't have any problems with this. You can move this all the way up to there. So just keep that in mind on where that is. There is a plugin. We will come back to that in a second on how to resolve that. And the next one we'll install is Bijin NPCs. Double click to install. You can see the fomod is an all-in-one or separate installation. Once again, we recommend the all-in-one. Installs all the characters. Click Next. Wrinkles are non-wrinkles. We want the wrinkles. The wrinkles are done by Fading Signal. Yes. And click Next. Hold as face wrinkles option. Once again, I like wrinkles because I guess I'm an old guy. And click Next. Body option again, UNP or CBBE. UNP is what we're using. Click Install. You can now activate it and move it up. So finally we have Bijin Wives UNP. Remember there were two options on that on what you had to choose. And there is a fomod, so you can once again click all in one and install. And there's Bijin Wives, and you can move it up with the others. Doesn't matter what order you put them in, because it doesn't really matter. So, what we'll do next, we will go ahead and install the Bijin All-in-One ESP. Double-click to install. Manual on this. There is no fomod. Right-click on Data, Set Data Directory, Docs and Screenshots, and the All-in-One ESP. It looks good like this. If you want the docs and the screenshots, you can leave them in. I usually click them off. And click OK. And activate it. Does not make any changes. Does not make any changes. So it doesn't really matter where you put it. For purpose's sake of this, I'm going to put it right there. That's all we're changing. So, plugins on this. Now you can see we have warmaidens.esp, NPCs.esp, wives.esp, and the all-in-one. All-in-one means that we have to get rid of these other 3 ESPs. There's one way to do it. You can unclick them. That is not the easiest option because it'll clutter up your plugins tab. The better option on all this, and if you use Mod Organizer a lot, you know this, double click on the first, actually I need to reorganize this, hang on a second. Warmaidens needs to go on top. Double click on Warmaidens, go to optional ESPs, highlight it and move it up. It is now an inactive ESP. And click close and you'll see it's gone. Do the same thing with the other 2. Move the ESPs up and click close. Wives, optional ESPs, move it up and click close. You have now successfully installed this correctly. So that's one way of doing it. So all that's left in this, if you look up the file tree, is meshes, optional, and textures. Optional is just the ESP because we moved it to the optional ESP file. Okay? Meshes, textures, and meta.ini. That's all that's in there. So it's basically just meshes and textures. The other 2 contain the same type of information. So that is one way of doing it. I'm going to show you my preferred way. Not everyone does this way. A lot of people think that it's the wrong way. I'm going to clean up my load order and I'll be right back. Okay, and we are now back. You can see I've removed the ESPs and the mods. Come back to your downloads, do the same process again, go through the installation for each of them. Legendary, next. Wrinkles, next. UNP body. Okay, now we can stop. I'm going to rename this mod to Bijin Warmaidens, comma, space, wives, comma, space, NPCs. NPC. So it's now Bijin Warmaidens, wives, and NPCs. And click OK. It will install the mod with the new name. Activate it and move it up to where we had it before, which is underneath Inhabitants of Skyrim, because they're the only ones they cover, right? It's the only one they make changes to. You can move it up. So now we'll go on and do the next one in line. Whatever one it is, NPCs, wives, it doesn't make a difference in how we're doing this. Let's do wives first, just because that's what it says. Warmaidens, wives, and NPCs. Double click to install. Now the first thing we'll do is go ahead and change it right now. We'll go ahead and make the change right now, and it is Warmaidens. Make sure the names match exactly, or Mod Organizer will not get it correct. Warmaidens, wives, NPCs. All in one, click install. Now it's saying that it needs to overwrite an existing mod because we've now renamed that new mod the same as what we renamed it Warmaidens to. And we want to merge that in. I'll let this finish out before we go and take a look. The last one to do is the Bijin NPCs. We will now rename it ahead of time. Notice it probably won't give me any options here. Nope, it doesn't. Warmaidens, wives, NPCs. So now exactly the same as before. All in one, click next. Wrinkles, please. Wrinkles, yes. Click next. UNP body. All right, that's the option for me. And click install. It's going to tell me, do you want to merge it in? Yes, I do. Since we installed mods that have a different mod number, it's going to say there's a problem. No, there's not a problem. The version number is correct. Ignore that update. So you're correct. Now, when you open this up, you'll see optional ESPs. It has all three. Go and close that for now. We'll just double check plugins. And the other two were not activated. Not that it really matters for this purpose, but I just want to see that they were properly activated. So we come back over to downloads. The last thing I need to install for this is the Bijin All-in-One. Double click to install. You want to do not rename this. You want this to be its own mod. Manual, right click, set data directory, docs and screenshots. I don't need docs and screenshots. Click OK. Activate that. You can move it up like we did before. And you go over to plugins, and we have the same essentials thing. We have Warmaidens ESP, NPCs ESP, Wives ESP. So when you open up your new one that you created with Warmaidens, Wives all combined, go to your optional ESPs. You can now just move them all up. There you go. So you can now come over, check your file tree, meshes and textures, optional. There's all three ESPs in the optional file. They are not active. Go ahead and close that. And you can see those ESPs are gone, and all you have is the all-in-one. And that's all there is to it, guys. This works perfectly fine in both methods. If you are a Nexus Mod Manager user, you can install all three, install the Bijin All-in-One, and then when you go to your Plugins tab, you will need to manually disable the Bijin Warmaidens, Bijin Wives, and Bijin NPCs ESPs from your Plugins tab. So there you go. Even though I don't use the Nexus Mod Manager anymore, there's a handy tip for you guys, because I still remember some things. So there you go, guys. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this special episode of the 2016 Skyrim Modding Guide. It's not listed as an additional episode. It's its own special thing, because I think these are really special mods. Whether I use them or not, I don't know. We'll have to see. My name's Cal. I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.